This is my review, the last review I will do for Battlestar Galactica. This is for Daybreak Part 2. No idea how long this is going to take. I have no idea. But I do know that I have class soon, so can't take that long. Everybody has their opinion. You know, a lot of people are pissed off, a lot of people are underwhelmed, a lot of people are really happy. You know, please don't rip me apart if you don't agree with what I have to say. I'm telling you right now, there's a lot of things that I still don't know how I feel about them. There's a lot of things that I'm kind of pulled one way, pulled the other way towards. There's a lot of things that I loved, a lot of things that I hated. So on we go. This is all over the place, I'm telling you right now. I really liked when they were prepping for the mission because it felt like old Battlestar. This is literally all over the place. Some of the characters' plot lines I felt sort of followed their natural course, but in a way that was predictable. I'm talking about Boomer and I'm talking about Gaius. I'm not talking about what happens to Gaius, I'm talking about the fact that he makes the last minute decision to stay behind. And I was sort of hoping you wouldn't, because I sort of wanted, like, something more, I don't know. I wanted him to stay true to himself, as douchey as it was. And Boomer, like, they've been setting that up forever. It's just like, we know she's gonna take care of, blah, blah, blah. I was kind of hoping they would just be like, oh, we just set that up for nothing. No, they didn't. As much as I love Battlestar Galactica, and I love it dearly, I love it truly with all my heart. I've always had an issue with the way that Ronald Moore makes shows. I really hate making them off the cusp. Like, making it up as you go along. I understand that a lot of this, that it makes sense because it kind of gives the story, like, a fresh feel, like, you don't know what's going to happen next. But I do feel like there are specific aspects that if you're going to put them in, you should know what they mean before you put them in. Because I feel like that's kind of where a lot of the issues of the show came in. Like, the Apollo and Duella thing was ridiculous. Like, it was, like, the worst thing ever. I was pretty much just like, oh, just do this. You know, I remember when Deanna sees the final five, like, in her vision or whatever, she says, I'm so sorry, or I'm sorry to one of them, and, like, I remember reading something that said that he didn't even know who she said that to. And everyone was, like, trying to figure out, and, like, he didn't know. I'd also read that he didn't really think he was ever going to explain the Head Six or Head Baltar. He thought he was just going to be, like, left ambiguous. And it is still left ambiguous, but they do attempt to tack on an explanation to it, or meaning to it, and, you know, I just think it sort of led into some of the problems of the show, and also ultimately it catching up with him when, you know, we have the last episode and so much has to be explained, so the option that is taken is that we're not going to explain it. And I like this for some reasons, and I hate it for other reasons. Okay, so plot threads. The Opera House. Definitely visually a lovely payoff, I felt. But this is something that's been building up for, like, seasons, and there's no way it was going to live up to my expectations. There's just no way it was going to happen. This is something that literally should have been in an episode and then explained 2, like, episodes later. This is not something that should really be one of the hinging mysteries of the show. I didn't really think that that's the status that something like that should have held. And thus, it was just people walking and running up some stairs. I don't understand. It's like, Gaius and Six had to be there at this specific moment, which is totally cool, totally fine. But then, like, Brother Cavill ended up just taking Hera. And it's just like, so pretty much you had to be here at this specific point to lead Hera to Cavill. I don't get it. Okay, don't rip me apart, please. You know. But I was happy that it was just, like, these visions that were imprinted, like, that were just shown to specific people because they needed to be at a specific place at a specific time. I approved of that. Wasn't like, oh my god, this is awesome, but I approved of it. So they answered most of the issues with the fact that there are beings in the world, and God doesn't like to be called that, but basically it's God is the answer to every question on the show, which is an interesting way to handle it because it's, like, really not science fiction at all. The explanations to these mysteries are not sci-fi, they're spiritual. Well, I think it's sort of a cop-out to just be like, it was God, it was God, it was God, it was spirits, it was an angel, it was a messenger. Part of me likes it, part of me doesn't. You know, I like the idea of these beings forcing themselves into people's heads, dreams, lives, to orchestrate, you know, that everything comes together for a specific time, for this purpose, for here to live, for humanity to find Earth. But I don't really get why it was Starbuck. I don't get it. And the other thing that I don't get is, yeah, the angel, the messenger from God thing sort of works with Head 6 and Head Baltar. I'm okay with it. But the funny thing is that I'm like slowly rewatching the series with my boyfriend, and it doesn't make any sense when you're watching the beginning of the series. I know that like he just came up with it, but it's just like these beings are so, like, she's so sexual. She's just talking. I know that she has to like drive him to believe in God, and that she is trying to do that from the very beginning. She's trying to do that, but it's, and parts of it do kind of fit with it. But overall, it's just like, I don't know. You can tell that it's not what they had in mind at the beginning, which, you know, I'm okay with making up the story as it goes along, but when you put something like a Head 6 in the story, you should know what you're doing when you do that. That's just my issue with Ron Moore. All Along the Watchtower. Scene was pretty cool, I liked it, but I'm still confused about what connects the song to the final four that heard it when it set them off. You know, how that connects to what Starbuck had to do with it. Again, I like the way that it connects to Starbuck. I like the way that it connects to the final four. I don't get what they have to do with each other. Are they just saying that this song is like a song that does things? I don't know. Okay, the other thing that they answered, what Starbuck was. Everyone has like different opinions, but I think it's pretty clear what the deal is. I don't really see why people are like, well, if Starbuck was the same as Head 6 and Head Baltar, then like, what are they doing with, you know, why can other people see her and no one else can see? I don't think that that's what she is. I think that Head 6 and Head Baltar were supposed to be messengers of, from God, although not in the, I mean, he doesn't like to be called that. Starbuck was someone that I feel was destined to, for some reason, do a series of things having to do with the arrow of Apollo and the eye of Jupiter. I don't think that they explain that, like, her only I don't think her only purpose was to enter in those notes. I think that her purpose was that she was supposed to complete a series of things that would eventually lead them to Earth. You know, and what happened was that she died before she could complete that mission, so she was brought back to complete it, and then when she completed it, she was done with the world. I take it as that she died at the end. I don't think there's any question that she didn't die. I think that she was finally left to be able to rest in peace. I don't think that there's any sort of, to me there is absolutely no ambiguity to what happens to her. We don't have a moment where she realizes that that's what she is, you know. And it's sort of weird because, yeah, I just take it that she's an angel. You know, it's, I'll talk about more her later, but that's how I took that. Again, I don't know if I'm happy with it or not. In one way I am, in one way I'm like, I feel like they just dropped the ball on her character, where like she didn't get the way her character ends. I don't think she got the respect that she deserves. I don't think she got a proper send-off. I think they really fucked her over, actually. But at the same time, I kind of like what they did because, you know, we never really get that closure with her. It really is just the way that she was all of fourth season with not knowing what she was is the way that they ended it, basically. So the battle scenes were amazing. I felt like I was watching a film. You know, they really pulled out all the stops with the effects because they were really impressive. Everything about the battle was good. Okay, I have an issue with Head Six and Head Baltar. I have a couple of issues with them. I've never had an issue with them. I love Head Six and Head Baltar, but I have serious, like, I don't understand that. For some reason, the show's always done a really good job with them coming off as really cool, really well executed. I buy them. I buy into them. For some reason, every single scene with Head Six and Head Baltar in this finale to me felt so fake, so corny, so badly acted. Which is, I've never seen James Callis or Trisha Helfer do bad acting before on this show, and you know, I think that they were written horribly. The way they were shot, they looked so, to me they just looked so doofy, and I'm just like, this is not my show. I felt like I was watching a different show.